Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. I'm Karen Greer, CEO of Secure Content Technologies, and I have the pleasure of being with Kris Wayman, the Field CTO for Binary Defense. Welcome, Kris.
What's up, Karen? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so this is our second in our series of three. And last time we discussed a bit about why traditional security investments are really just delivering diminishing returns. And so today I wanted to talk to you about laying out a blueprint for a modern security program and how that looks different, and like the modern SIEM approach. And from a business perspective, what exactly does that even mean?
Yeah, it's first and foremost, like it's not a product, right? I think it's more of like it is a strategy, or it's an approach. It feels very cliche to say that, but it's not, right? If somebody's trying to sell you this product is a modern SIEM and it's going to solve all your problems, no, it's just going to have more bells and whistles and it's going to look nicer while you have the same problems you've had with your other stack. Maybe your metrics go up, maybe you have better response times, but if you're not aligning the outcome of the business or like the business needs to your security program while you're putting something like a modern SIEM in place, you're going to have all the same problems. So that's like, I think, the first piece of the approach. And then the next one is, I think even more so, data has always been crucial for security, but especially in if you're trying to take a step from like a legacy to a modern security program, or modernize your SecOps program. You really like need to decouple that data strategy and really fine tune it, because that's where the magic happens. And so gives you like flexibility over all of those things, and to understand where you've got gaps and perceived or otherwise impact that you might be facing, and really fine tune the direction of your security program by starting with the basics, which we believe is fundamentally like your data strategy.
Right. So, what's the difference in just collecting logs and having a real data strategy? Because there's a definite difference there.
Yeah. One of the things I see when I talk to people who have legacy programs, inherited long-term SIEM, long-term aggregation, is you've been collecting logs for a long time. And we throw things into this bucket and we say, like, let's do security on it. And that's not, it is a strategy, I suppose, but it's not an active strategy. And so when you look at threat detection and response as the driver for your security program and why you need an active data strategy, it's because adversarial tactics shift over time. And this isn't like the cliche, the ever evolving threat landscape, or whatever people are saying in the world. It is just the reality that attacker behavior shifts and is even different potentially as they're targeting your organization. As your attack surface changes, you need to understand, where do you have impact? Where is there unique impact and exposure and attacker ops as this kind of confluence for your organizational risk? And that is a very different conversation than like, let's just dump all the things into a bucket and hope that we have the data that we need there. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And so I think some people think, well, we just need to rip and replace. Like, things have gotten a little too complicated. Let's just start over. But from my perspective as a security advisor, I don't really necessarily think at all that that's the best strategy. But I think a partnership with like Binary Defense and SCT, we can honor and enhance the tools that they already have in place to make their stack even better.
Yeah, that's we talk a lot about coming in and meeting clients where they are with their security stack. You've picked security tools. Maybe you've inherited them. Maybe used relational capital, your political capital at your organization to get that stack. And so it's also very unrealistic for you to come in and say, let's rip and replace everything. But at the same time, when we're talking to customers collectively, is there's usually a need. And so we look at this, how do we take what you have today and take you on a journey? There's a maturity through that process. Are you looking to replace multiple pieces of your stack? Do you want to start with your SIEM or your EDR or different parts of it? And then how do we integrate that into your cohesive strategy to make sure that you're not missing anything and your data strategy is still like fundamental to what it is? And so I think the goal here really is to say, no judgment. Everybody starts somewhere. How do we take what you've got and elevate it? And then how do we take you on the journey to make sure that you're meeting current threat landscape, which all the FUD aside, there's a lot of AI and other things that you should be thinking about, but not over indexing on.
So what a buzzword, AI. I mean, I don't think I have a conversation in security today without that coming up. It just doesn't. But I do feel like what binary defense brings to the table is the addition of a human analyst. And maybe you can kind of tell us like what that looks like and why that actually is a big differentiator.
So I think there's two parts of this, right? There's the adversarial use of AI and just understanding to date, we haven't really seen a lot of novel AI attacks, which means we're not really concerned about using AI to stave off AI specific things, right? It's not like this knife fight between good AI and bad AI. It's more about how do we use AI to supercharge our people. We really do still believe, and even long term, you're going to need good people using the tools. This is no different than when we went from like signature based AV to AI and ML in the models that accelerate and amplify your ability to detect things faster. AI is in a lot of ways, especially in the SOC, that's what we use it for. Triages faster, helps you find a specific needle in a stack of needles, if you like analogies, right? It's like, I know there's a ton of data, and AI is really good at helping me parse that data. And it's really good at helping me package it up to give it to a person who then owns kind of the last mile of the investigation. And so for us, it really is like that force multiplier kind of superhero cape kind of thing for your analysts
Mhm.
to make sure that um, you're dealing with the vastness of the data, but you're not losing the intuition kind of expertise of an analyst because there I have not seen any tool that can wholly take that off of your plate. We're not at the point where you're like, I'm fully staffed by AI analysts that only do that. And honestly, customers don't really seem to want that all the way, right? There's a
Mhm.
reaction to I want to know there's someone behind this that's helping me, and so I think it's a really interesting conversation. We could have a whole chat about AI.
We
I think
could.
to answer your question about AI buzzwords is like understand where the actual use is, and then understand where there's value in the SOC and where your partners can use AI to really amplify the people behind it, but don't be careful of over indexing, doing too much around using AI or thinking that it's going to be that silver bullet.
I like that a lot. So the other thing that comes to mind, and this comes up a lot with clients, is they have a SIM and maybe it's not giving them what they need, or they don't know how to use it, or a million other things that you can say about a SIM. So, but the idea of migrating can feel really daunting to them. So how does binary defense help people kind of on that journey without making them feel like, gosh, I've gotten in a bind trying to move away from this?
We do this a lot. We actually have a lot of customers. I think I have a customer that's got 4 SIMs, which I think they're just a glutton for punishment. It's too many. It's too many. Um, but it's not uncommon to have 2, right? Maybe you get Microsoft for free or free for part of your estate, and you've got the one that has most of your stuff. You're looking to consolidate, or you're going from one to another. Um, we are born in SIM, right? For over a decade, that's our expertise, and that's what we know how to do. And so we can help you get to the point that we can migrate and provide continuity of service. So a lot of times, what happens is we'll collectively go in, customer needs service. We provide that service at the outset with what they've got, but then we also create a roadmap for implementation to the next thing. And then you don't lose service as we migrate you. And so it's really about trying to mature your security program and helping you get to that next step and the next step and the next step without feeling like we're shoving product down your throat, or you're having to, continue to buy more and more and more to get to that point. It really is more about how can we be a good partner to you, and as an extension of your team, bring our expertise to bear so that you can mature that program.
Yeah, and I think that differentiating message that you all have is meeting the client where they are, and that's really important in that whole conversation. So I feel like we've got a lot of value going on here, of looking at the client's full security stack, understanding where they need to be, understand how AI fits into that, and the relationship between binary defense and SCT can be incredibly beneficial to the client. And I feel like we work really well together to bring those pieces together.
Yeah, I agree. And I think for us, again, we talk a lot about this. Like, it's not just ticket forwarding, and this is, I know, you guys' philosophy too. We want to be a true collaboration, true partner in this, because look, MDR has been around for long enough. Most of our customers have a bad experience. You've experienced what feels like somebody taking an alert from your control and just passing it back to you without a lot of enrichment or a lot of value added to it. And so, we understand that's the context that we live in, and so it's about how do we bring um, real value and bring our expertise to bear so that you feel better about your security posture and you don't feel like there's somebody just kind of like, hey, there was this thing over here, you should probably go deal with it, because that's not helpful for anybody. And so
No,
it really is about how do we collaborate best with our customers.
I think it is. And so, in my mind, the messaging that we're bringing to the audience is that have a flexible mindset and work on maximizing your initial investments and moving forward and letting us meet you exactly where you are in that journey and then helping guide you along the way from there.
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, this was a great session, and I can't wait till we get to tackle our next one. This is the third in our series, and it's just been a real pleasure, Kris.
Yeah, same here, Karen. Thanks.